Huskers wearing special Memorial Stadium-inspired alternate uniforms for today's game. Former Husker A.J. Bush looking to come away with a victory in his return to the Cornhusker State. Nebraska gets on the ball first. Adrian Martinez off the read option takes it himself down the sideline to 30 yards into Illinois territory. Next play from scrimmage, Martinez sees a wide-open Stanley Morgan Jr. up the middle. He runs it in for the 37-yard score. A 1-minute, 2-second drive, and the Huskers take the 7-0 lead. Illinois responds. A.J. Bush looks up and sees an opening and runs untouched into the end zone for the touchdown. Game tied up at 7. Ensuing Nebraska drive, Martinez looks to hand it off to Maurice Washington. He takes it to the outside and goes 49 yards to the Illini 17 before being pushed out of bounds. 3 plays later on the Nebraska drive, Huskers facing third down from the 9. Martinez takes it in for 6 for his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. NU back on top 14-7. Illinois marches right back down the field. Bush again on the QB sneak, sees an opening and heads to the end zone for his 2nd score of the quarter. 14-14 ball game. Nebraska responds. Martinez again to Morgan Jr., this time for 32 yards. Huskers take the 21-14 lead, and we're still in the first quarter. Second quarter, after a Bear Pickering field goal made it 24-14, Bush off the option decides to keep it himself, but Trey Neal rips the ball free, and JoJo Doman covers it up to give the Huskers possession. Third play of the Nebraska drive, Martinez hands it off to Divino Zigbo, and the senior does the rest. Ziggy Stardust leaving a trail of defenders in his path as he goes 66 yards for a career-long rushing touchdown. NU up 31-14. Illinois responds. Bush sneaks in from 2 out for his 3rd rushing score of the half. The 75-yard drive cuts the Huskers' lead to 10. Final minute of the half, Nebraska punting. The Illinois return man goes for the catch, but it bounces off his chest and the ball goes rolling towards the goal line. Jeremiah Stovall recovers on the 7, and the Huskers have the opportunity to add a score before halftime. 8 seconds remaining in the half. Martinez finds a wide-open Jack Stoll through the middle for his 3rd touchdown pass of the half, and the Huskers take the 38-21 lead at the intermission. Third quarter, Nebraska facing a 4th and 9 and decide to go for it. Martinez connects with J.D. Spielman for the 20-yard completion, and the Huskers are inside the 5. Next play from scrimmage, Martinez hands it off to Zigbo, who goes in for his 2nd score of the day. Huskers leading 45-21. Fourth quarter, still the same score. The Illini punting, but Nebraska brings the pressure, and Markel Dismuke blocks the punt for the safety. It's the Huskers' first blocked punt since 2015. Later in the 4th, Nebraska up 47-28. Martinez again to Zigbo, and the senior goes towards the numbers, then cuts upfield. The Illini defense can't catch up to him. He goes 60 yards for his 3rd score on Saturday, and the Huskers are up 54-28. Just over a minute left in this ballgame. Bush trying to avoid the sack and throws one up. It's intercepted by Captain Nick Stoltenberg for his 1st career interception. What a play by the Gretna native. Fans loving the effort displayed by Nebraska today, and the Huskers come away with a 54-35 win against Illinois. With the victory, the Huskers move to 3-7 overall and 2-6 in the Big Ten. Nebraska's won its last 3 games against U of I. The Huskers are now 12-3-1 all-time against Illinois and 9-1 versus the Illini when playing games in Lincoln. Sports Director Adam Kruger has more following the victory. Thanks, Adam. The Huskers put up 606 yards of offense on Saturday. It was NU's 7th straight game with at least 450 yards, breaking the school record for the longest streak. Nebraska had an even game going close to 300 yards through the air and on the ground. Both teams had 7 penalties on Saturday. Nebraska had its most caused turnovers in a game this season, recovering 3 fumbles and intercepting 2 passes. The Huskers racked up 24 points off these turnovers, the most this season. Adrian Martinez had a strong game behind center for Nebraska. The freshman signal caller completed 70% of his passes for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Martinez's 2,212 season passing yards is 8th all-time on Nebraska's career list, and he also broke the Nebraska freshman record for total yards in a season. Rushing-wise, senior Divino Zigbo led the way with 162 yards off only 11 carries for a career-high 3 touchdowns. Ozigbo's rushed for more than 100 yards in 5 of the last 7 games. He passed 2,000 career yards today against Illinois and is now only 42 yards away from reaching 1,000 yards in 2018. Maurice Washington averaged nearly 22 yards a carry in today's win, and Adrian Martinez added 55 yards and a score on the ground. 6 Huskers caught passes in the victory against the Fighting Illini. Captain Stanley Morgan Jr. had a monster day, catching 8 passes for 131 yards and 2 scores. The senior is in 2nd place in school history in career receptions and in yards, and is only 3 receptions and 90 yards away from breaking those records. J.D. Spielman added 7 receptions for 71 yards. Saturday was the first game for Spielman since Week 3 at Michigan that he didn't record a touchdown. Freshman Cade Warner caught 4 balls and had a few key blocks in the win, and tight end Jack Stoll only caught 1 pass, but it was for that touchdown at the end of the first half. Coming up later in sports, we'll have much more on Nebraska's win against Illinois and take a look at other games around the Big Ten.
Now, your Omaha Sports Insider Report.
For the last few weeks, Scott Frost and players told us that they're on the right track and getting closer to where they want to be as a team. On Saturday, fans got to see a glimpse of how dominant Frost's offense can be as Nebraska racked up more than 600 yards against the Illini. After showing glimpses of growth the last few weeks, the Huskers put together a dominant game from start to finish against a conference opponent for the first time in more than a year. The combination of seniors Divino Zigbo and Stanley Morgan Jr. combined for 5 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards for NU Saturday. With Adrian Martinez completing passes at a 70% clip and the O-line producing the run, the Illini had no answer to whatever Frost and crew threw at them. By the time the final whistle blew, Nebraska had its 3rd victory of the season, defeating Illinois 54-35. The 54 points was the most in a game this season and Nebraska's 3rd game with at least 45 points in 2018. It's the most in a conference game since joining the Big Ten. More on the play of Adrian Martinez. For Coach Frost's entire press conference and more from Saturday's game at Memorial Stadium, head to our website, omahasportsinsider.com. Staying in the Big Ten, 21st-ranked Iowa hosting Northwestern at Kinnick Stadium. Picked this one up in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 6 from the 34. Isaiah Bowser finds a hole and goes in for the touchdown. Northwestern takes a 7-3 lead. Later in the 3rd, Nate Stanley connects with Amir Smith-Marset for the 28-yard touchdown. Hawkeyes regain the lead. 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Clayton Thorson goes deep to Ben Skowronek, who makes the diving catch in the end zone for the touchdown. Wildcats win 14-10 and win the Big Ten West title for the first time in program history. Number 22, Iowa State at home against Baylor. End of the 1st quarter, Brock Purdy finds Deshante Jones for the score. Iowa State up early 7-0. 2nd quarter, Purdy decides to take it himself into the end zone off the QB keeper, runs to the right side from 2 yards out for the score. Cyclones go on to win 28-14. UNO men's soccer in the Summit League final against Denver. We'll pick this one up 15 minutes into regulation, and Denver's Kenny Akamatsu steals the pass, goes past the Mavs defenders, and rips one past the goalie to put Denver on the board. DU goes on to defeat UNO today, 1-0. Nebraska volleyball is in Ann Arbor this evening, taking on the University of Michigan in a top 15 battle. The Huskers dropped set 1, but won the next 3 sets for the 3-1 win. Senior Michaela Fecke led the way with 22 kills on .465 hitting. Lexi Sun added 17 kills in the win. Well, today marked a championship Saturday at the Nebraska State Volleyball Tournament. Area programs were looking to write their way into the history books and bring home the coveted state trophy. Class A finals between Millard North and Lincoln Pius X. Mustangs looking for their 2nd state title in 3 years. We'll pick this one up in the 3rd set. McKenna Ruck, the UNO volleyball commit, with the kill. Gorgeous shot there by the Mustang. Later on, Emmy Grant with the match point kill, and there you go. The Millard North Mustangs win the Class A state title for the 2nd time in 3 years. In Class B, it was an all-area matchup between Omaha Skutt and Elkhorn South. This teams feature 2 of the best sophomores in the nation in Riley Gray and Lindsey Krause. 2nd set point for Skutt, and Krause kills that shot. Skutt takes the 2nd set 25-21. Match point, Lily Haney with the kill. Skyhawks sweep the Storm for its 4th straight Class B title. Class C1 championship between Lincoln Lutheran and Wahoo. A combined 4 Division I commits in this game. We'll start this one in the decisive 5th set. Maya Larson with the kill. Warriors up 10-6. Match point. And it's Ellie Larson this time. The senior outside hitter hits it off the defender for the point. Warriors win 3-2 for the Class C1 title. In time now for our U.S. Cellular play of the day, and we're going to go back out to Lincoln. Divino Zigbo goes 66 yards here for a career-long rushing touchdown. The senior ran for 166 yards and 3 scores today in today's victory. What a great game for Divine. Some other quick news and notes. The UNO men's hockey team got their 2nd regular season win this year, and former Creighton Blue Jay Justin Patton has been shipped to the Philadelphia 76ers as part of the blockbuster Jimmy Butler trade.
A lot of great talent here in Omaha that's being produced. And
well, a lot of great talent, and a lot of great talent down in Lincoln as well today. This game was a game that the Huskers obviously should have won, but they came out from start to finish and dominated all aspects of the game, and it was just a great evening. Kind of cold in the morning, but a great evening for fans to get to celebrate this Frost win. Even
from the very first play, we were kind of super excited to see them to take that victory, so hopefully they can continue that for next weekend against Michigan State.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be right back after the break.